All right, so this is an update on the Braincleaner project where I'm making 10 completes that I'm going to put together and tune up. And the boards are nearing completion. It's within sight. And so now my attention is turning to getting the trucks ready to go and tuned up. And I don't have a lot of time, so I'm aiming to get this out, to get the boards all ready to go like now, because it's already spring. So I'm gonna have to start working on this like a couple times a week. So anyway, this first issue I'm running into is I want to run these shims, because without the shims you're having to rely on tightening the bolt a lot more to pick up this slop. Where I want to have the slop taken up by the shim, the shim is also really smooth, so it acts as a nice low friction surface to make it so that it moves very smoothly in the channel. And it also acts as a wear surface so that your hanger and base plate don't ever take any damage, and it's always the shim that you can just replace. So my goal is to provide each truck with 2 sets of shims, and I'm going to use this black material for the shims. This is a black HDPE. The problem is, here you can see on this truck, I've taken up all the space in the channel just by that one shim. And I'd like to have a shim on both sides so that there's no wear on either the truck components at all. And so in order to do that, I've got to figure out how to make more space into the base plate. The second problem I have, if you look at here, the base plates, this surface and this surface aren't exactly parallel. In fact, this back surface is kind of rounded like that, and you can see it rocks. So my plan is to address that and to create more space for the shims in one process. And so I'm not doing this today because I've still got to figure out a few things, and I'm going to be working on finishing up the boards today. But my plan is to take the hangers and just with the belt sander flatten out this top side, right? So I'm going to create a nice flat reference on this side. Then the plan is to use this reference surface up against a fence. So take it over here to the table saw fence, right? So we'll use this reference material up against a fence. And could do this on the table saw. I could take this and push it through the table saw and just take off a precise amount off this side to get the exact thickness I want. But the problem is, on a table saw, that's kind of, I've done it before on the table saw. I have done this on some of my own trucks. But I've got 20 hangers to do this to, and I don't want to mess up on any of them. So, and it's just not the best way to do it. So what I've come up with as a proposed idea in my mind is I'm going to go and take it to the router table over here. And the plan is we'll put a fence up here at the router table, and I'm going to use this bit. Basically, I'm going to router off this side and try to get a nice precision face that way. That's the plan. We'll have to see how it works. I've got, like I said, 20 hangers that I need to do it to, and I've got this one black hanger which I've set aside as my proof of concept. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm a little anxious about it. But the outcome of being able to run these shims is going to be really, really, really worth it. So another part of the update is this is 3D printed polyurethane, and I was looking at using this as replacements for O-rings. I don't think it's going to work. The problem is this is thermal polyurethane, where we're used to what's cured polyurethane, where it's chemically reacted to make the bonds, and you can't undo that. Whereas thermal, you can melt and reform it. So the problem with this stuff is it's just not very elastic. The O-rings that we're using are butyl rubber, and they're not very elastic compared to what we can get with polyurethane, like especially if we apply polyurethane, like real polyurethane. But this stuff, although it is flexible, it is not even as elastic as butyl. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm not going to be able to make, big, massive, high resistance O-rings, because if you had an O-ring on there that was like this size, I mean, that would make people who are very comfortable riding bushings and are used to a stiff setup, this would make them very comfortable in going fast. And the polyurethane would be a lot more robust and resistant to abuse and chemical breakdown over time than butyl would. So, bit disappointing there. But I am thinking that perhaps I can use this flexible polyurethane as a material to 3D print a nose guard. Because this stuff, even though it's not elastic, it is flexible and it is really tough. And I think that might work. I'm conflicted here, and the reason why is I want these setups to be just premier, super tuned, ultimate other planet truck setups. So what I want to avoid is trying something new, like a polyurethane 3D printed nose guard, and to be throwing out something that's still experimental, because everything about this has been established as really good over many years. So I'm really confident that these are amazing boards. I'm confident that I can, with all my tuning, I can make these amazing trucks, and I'm confident that they make an amazing combination together. And I don't know how much I want to try to do experimental things or not. So I'd like to try to make the nose guards, but at the moment I'm just not sure if I can be confident enough with them to put them on these boards, which are supposed to be incredible. And I can't put something on them that is not incredible. So I don't know. I'm conflicted. The only thing I can think of doing is my board is made from the same template. So my own personal board, if I make the nose guard for these, it'll fit on my board, and I can try it out long enough to test it and see if I'm happy with it. And that's the only thing I can try to do. But I do have nose guard on my mind. And I think I will only do a nose guard because I think a guard is going to get in the way of the function of the tail in a way it won't for the nose. In addition to the fact that the tail doesn't need it as much as the nose will. So, anyway, that's the situation with that. Moving on here, these boards. So winding up, so I just have these 5 boards left to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the boards will be finally done. So this is coming to a quick close. I don't know what the ETA is, but if I could get these all ready and ready to be shipped out and ridden before, let's say, the 2nd week of April, then I'd be thrilled. I'm going to make that my goal. The 2nd week of April, these will be ready to go and ready to buy. I guess that's the goal. I don't know if I have anything else to say. That's the updates. I'm going to have other updates, especially as I continue to work on this. But for now, I guess Longboard Technology, over and out. So I'd forgotten, I actually had this one already finished and gripped and everything. But check that out. So nice. Such a great board. And then I forgot about this one. Bamboo. The blue bamboo. So this one's a full 1/8 inch thinner than all the rest. This one's really unique, and this has got to be for like a younger rider, because it won't be strong enough for like a full weight adult, but it'll be a lot lighter and a lot more lively and have the appropriate flex for someone who's a little younger. So this one I'm real excited about, just because it looks so great. Yeah. That's all the board sanded. So, whew.